little urban park. If you thought you saw your freedom, it was truly a mirage. Freedom's locked a cell away from Julian Assange. Our First Amendment rights are by his side behind bars, and the next voices silenced will be ours. Rest assured, democracy is rotting in the dark. Rest assured, we vilified dissenters, pushed out black renters, and tore down their housing just to build a little urban park. God, I tell you, old America really knows how to leave its mark. Blaze a trail, leave 100 scars. Rip your free speech out your throat, demonize the man who told you it was so, and leave him freezing in a cell in Belmarsh, perpetually awaiting extradition, thrown to the wolves of claustrophobia and malnutrition. And all that we can hope is that we catch Uncle Joe in a fleeting lucid moment of his flickering senile fascist mission. That maybe we could trick him into thinking Julian is just some sweet blonde middle school Christian, and she got mixed up with a few bad apples, slapped with some charges, and thrown into prison. Joe would set him free without a moment's hesitation under one condition: that he can sniff her hair before she goes back to school and he goes back to business. But if Joe's just had his shots, then we haven't got a chance of getting past his black and white vision, getting past his gut reaction to appease all of his donors' sick requests and shape policy and law around corporate mandated decisions. So really, all along, I think Julian was one man standing in a tempest with the fearlessness of true conviction. And if his is the only conviction we see after he shed a light on this country's most poisonous schemes all come to fruition, and we all collectively stare at the ground because we felt like our hands were too tied beyond signing petitions, while he's tortured to death for attempting to warn and enlighten admittedly not quite the brightest of citizens, and half of this country just won't take the time to uncover the truth, or they just don't mind, so they're quick to dismiss it and say it's a difficult position. Then we're back to the comfort of centrist delusion. We're right back to sleep for those ignorant sheep who resisted themselves into one protracted contusion, twisting themselves into knots to correct all your stimulus check-based confusion, wrapping their necks around their backs as they justify overflow migrant detention or fracking pollution. Then Kamala laughs, and the camera pans down to her shoes. And that footage is 90% of your 6 o'clock news. Except for a feel-good story about a man who at 95 years young just made Employee of the Month at Whole Foods. And the $50 gift card means this month he'll afford his prescriptions and meals, and he won't have to choose. This is the machine that a man named Julian Assange threw his body on the gears of for you. So to cry out for his freedom is the least that we can do. Now best believe the feds will serve to muddy up the truth, but rest assured the temperature in Belmarsh is an icy 22, and Julian is shivering in a solitary room without a view. Rest assured Obama loves a whistleblower just about as much as he loves weddings where he doesn't get to detonate the groom. Rest assured Obama bought the plot where all our First Amendment rights are gonna rot and demanded that they carve his smiling likeness on the tomb. So that when you come to pay respects to your free speech rights and a somber feeling hits you and you look up to the sky, the answer will be staring you right in the eyes to the questions of why and of who. So if you thought you saw your freedom, then they wanted you to. Human rights are mutable, and Julian is proof. Our First Amendment rights are stuck in solitary too. And the next voice silent might be you.
Influencer TikTok, capitalist pig dog, immigration flip-flop lobbied via rim job, Met Gala airstrike, A-lister scrimshaw, paparazzi lip-sip the scandal as it drips off. You know I'd love to meet our leaders that were tipped off, back when COVID was a few of us with wicked coughs, and be like, sorry, Mr. Senator, that you don't speak in terms of human worth, just in kickbacks and dipped stocks. Then punch that motherfucker like a shift clock. Hurry back home to my stack of straw dolls with their limbs off, where Biden's on the screen and he's confusing Xi and Kim Jong, talking out his SIM card like someone plugged him in wrong, but then we hit the gist and suddenly his pitch drops. He whispers right at camera one with his fist balled. His words hang with the subtlety of a lynch mob as he says rat your neighbor out and get a $5 voucher for the CIA gift shop. Hell, you'll even get a free stick of boot-flavored lip balm. 'Cause every day we make enough consent to fill a strip mall. So when I say eat the rich, I'm talking still raw, bone in, limb by greedy limb with a skill saw. Picture, if you will, a modern take on Naked Prey starring Bill Maher. Picture misery deeper than a reach in Biden's pill jar. You pull a fistful out and down it, honey, here we are. The future's full of shit and clear enough to know we're better veering off and fleeing far, somewhere Jeff will never think to look beyond the fading stars. Beyond the homeless camps they came and swept for the parade of stars, who showed their faces proudly while we covered ours. Met Gala butcher block, we feed the hungry and we tax the filthy rich until they fucking starve. Poke the hornet's nest enough, eventually it comes apart. Eventually I'll run my course and numb my art. I'll snuff the little embers out and clean my car. Wait it out enough and then my sample bank will seem bizarre. Just foreign clips of fuzzy inspirations that I've washed away or smoked beneath a half a dozen years of char. Till I've long forgotten the familiar buzz of pressure in my ears when it's just me alone with thoughts of drones, Boston dogs, Black Rock homes, and women wearing maiden's garb. The times when privately I wondered if we'd ever shake these chains of ours. When every vote for lesser evil yields another toxic barb, a pox on your democracy, a swelling in your child's heart. Before the time to educate ourselves is gone and suddenly our trial starts. Those among you capable of standing, please rise. Wipe the crocodile tears from your landlord's eyes before the trial starts. All rise and the trial starts.
Although he's not the slickest vulture to have ever picked a carcass, he's just the kind to catch us at our darkest for an easy harvest. Just the kind to serve us to the markets and see you lose your home before his donors let him bargain. Who'll give a cop the go-ahead to shoot you in the leg before they let you harm a target. Being an American, I love watching garbage, but it's overload. And this is not my first rodeo. I don't drop mics, but I choke slam podiums, and so we go. Little bit of Troy, a little Roanoke. Karma, come and hold me close. Tell me how you told me so. I'm overboard, blowing out. I'm holy ghosted, stolen shroud. Soaked in old petroleum and calling down the rolling clouds. Slowly move my mouth and form the only sound I knew, and it was always out of tune, but it's the ugly fucking truth, and now it's flowing out. Break the banks, flood the basin. I transcribed a translation, spoke it out of Morse code and straight into capsaicin. And God, I hope it suits your station, cause it's my last release that won't require proof of vaccination. I got all my rates adjusted for infection and inflation, bloating and decay and all the perks of radiation. We see the virus for the profits, not the patients. Honey, look at all these records set for all the corporations. When COVID started spreading, they were just a side of celebration. They got one record quarter in the bag and now they're all impatient. They'd rather have a toe to tag than see a mouth to feed, or worse, a kid in need of education. And honey, only money's making that distinction. They're gonna thin the herd straight through starvation to the brink of our extinction. Capitalism favors innovation and is never at a loss for ways to make us hate our liberation, cloud our vision. Somewhere in America, a man with no money in the bank is on his way to City Hall to go complain about proposals for a soup kitchen. And he'll never see the tiny bit of irony that floats in all the tragedy of his position. And he's not the only one, it's an American tradition. So it goes, in endless perpetuity, we never deviated from the mission. I set out the ritual and listened from the sand, held my head between my hands and muttered dying would be easy, life's an everyday decision. And I'm not the only one, it's an American tradition. And I'm not the only one, it's an American tradition. Bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen. You're not the only one, it's an American tradition. I bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen.
Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Situated for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning,
Wait.
Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Situated for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Situated for a warning, but the warning never.
No, Indy left. What is happening here?
To check out IndependentLeft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
IndependentLeft.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out. Oh, what's up, Independent Left? Indie Friend show.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
The INN, Indy, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News.
Yeah. What's up, Indy, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indy, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indy.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building, Indy.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Kennedy News.
I see Indy's in the chat. Hi, Indy. Okay, great. Bye.
I love that. Okay, great. Bye. Hi. That's really funny. Shout out to Sabby Sab. She actually did one of those tonight again. Hi, Indy. Like almost just like that. But now it actually has the new thing that says Indy instead of the Bong Father. Yeah, hi everybody. It's Sunday night. It's 10 o'clock. It's Indy and Reef over here. It's us big. How do we miss that? Okay, and we got some live chat up. This is view number 2 for the two shot. There you go. There's a little behind the scenes baseball. Okay, so holy shit, there is a ton going on. We are completely fucked.
We're fucked.
Hopefully everybody heard that. And desktop audio is turned on. Good. We're just checking.
I heard it.
Yay, Reef even heard it. All right, so we are still in content jail on YouTube for INN. So thank you for everyone who's hanging out here over on the Indie Left Media YouTube channel. YouTube.com/IND Left News, even though we're moving over towards a media environment, but we're still IND Left News. So we have got a hell of a show. We got a bunch of Assange stuff again. They're gaslighting Assange and supporters again. It's insane. It was Press Freedom Week, so they turned it up extra heavy, and Misty warned us about that. So we're gonna get to some of that.
Yep.
I see we've got good chat fam already here. So let me take a little sip here and do my spiel.
Make
What
sure
you
it's
up to,
as
man?
audible and as loud as possible in people's ears so that they get the full indie experience.
I don't think everybody can hear that.
You can just swallow really hard.
The mic, you know what? When I listen on the podcast, I never hear those sips, and I know when I stop to take those pause breaks. So I don't think they actually go through. I think you set
I
the
occasionally
audio filter.
catch them.
You set the audio filter well enough. So anyway, that's our technical director over there, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That? How Do We Miss That? It's a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers organizing and workers being exploited, and environmental crises, while challenging corporate narratives and establishment narratives and talking points. New episodes stream live Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin, Substack, woohoo, Facebook, Telegram channels. The podcast usually published within a couple days on Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, more. Go over there, give us a 5-star rating if you can. Co-host, that's me. I am Indy. I am the founder and editor of the Indie Media Today Substack and the Indie Media Awards, and Indy's Tech Tips exclusively on Rumble. Reef Freeland, this guy who just hit that button, he is INN's technical director, and he is the creator and co-host of INN News with Care Bear Colin Radix Carter, who's not here tonight and not on this show, but he's an INN founding member and one of our boys, and he's on INN News every Wednesday night. Go check out INN News for sure, and loves Colin. We hosted
Should be
INN
one on
News.
this channel last week.
Yeah, we hosted INN News this week, and we're going to be hosting INN News on Wednesday night as well. Both of us, by the way, are co-founders of INN, Indie News Network, which is a collaborative family of independent content creators. You can find all of our channels at indienews.network. Please make sure, share the link, like the stream, subscribe to our channel on all the platforms where you watch and listen. We are literally like almost everywhere except on YouTube for INN this week. Thank you so much to YouTube for that. So, holy crap, we have got a hell of a show for everyone. Let's go into slideshow mode. It worked. Okay. So, of course, our shout out to Big Mad Crab for the thumbnail. Always coming through the day before. I send him the links and everything we're going to cover, and he comes out with wizardry. So, just to break it down, we're going to talk a lot about Assange. We're going to talk a little bit about NATO. And we're going to talk about what the hell is going on at McDonald's across the country, which I know some people have talked about, but there's a couple of reasons why I want to talk about it, but we're going to get to that later. First, we're going to get to Assange coverage because it was World Press Freedom Day. And wow, did the corporate press and U.S. government go all out to gaslight the entire world about just how much they believe in press freedom. And holy shit. So Chris Hedges wrote an article that I can actually read because it's not a mile long. Oh my God. Love you, Chris Hedges, but your articles are way too long to read on the show usually. So I figured let's do that. Let's read an article, and it is actually an exclusive article that he wrote for ScheerPost, which is an Indie Media Award honoree. Go sign up. And please support ScheerPost. Please support Chris Hedges at his Substack because he has been independent and he'd like to keep doing this. I have his little plea at the end. So, quote, the detention and persecution of Julian Assange eviscerates all pretense of the rule of law and the rights of a free press. The illegalities embraced by the Ecuadorian, British, Swedish, and U.S. governments are ominous. They presage a world where the internal workings, abuses, corruption, lies, and crimes, especially war crimes, carried out by corporate states and the global ruling elite, will be masked from the public. They presage a world where those with the courage and integrity to expose the misuse of power will be hunted down, tortured, subjected to sham trials, and given lifetime prison terms in solitary confinement. They presage an Orwellian dystopia where news is replaced with propaganda, trivia, and entertainment. The legal lynching of Julian, I fear, marks the official beginning of the corporate totalitarianism that will define our lives. C.J. Hopkins, by the way, also talks a lot about totalitarianism. Under what law did Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno capriciously terminate Julian's rights of asylum as a political refugee? Under what law did Moreno authorize British police to enter the Ecuadorian embassy, diplomatically sanctioned sovereign territory, to arrest a naturalized citizen of Ecuador? Under what law did Donald Trump criminalize journalism and demand the extradition of Julian, who's not a U.S. citizen and whose news organization is not based in the United States? Under what law did the CIA violate attorney-client privilege, surveil and record all of Julian's conversations, both digital and verbal, with his lawyers, and plot to kidnap him from the embassy and assassinate him? The corporate state eviscerates enshrined rights by judicial fiat. This is how we have the right to privacy with no privacy. This is how we have free elections funded by corporate money, covered by compliant corporate media under iron corporate control. Oh, God, I love this guy. This is how we have a legislative process in which corporate lobbyists write the legislation and corporate indentured politicians vote it into law. I don't think you've seen anything like that. Have you, Reeve?
No.
No,
we would never.
No. This is how we have the right to due process with no due process. This is how we have a government whose fundamental responsibility is to protect citizens that orders and carries out the assassination of its own citizens, such as the Muslim cleric Anwar al-Awlaki and his 16-year-old son. That was Obama, by the way, that did that. Not Trump, not Biden, not Republican. The hero, Barack Obama. He ordered that drone bombing. This is how we have a free press. Yes, that's that guy. But this is how we have a free press, which is legally permitted to publish classified information, and our generation's most important publisher sitting in solitary confinement in a high-security prison awaiting extradition to the United States.
Yep.
The psychological torture of Julian, documented by the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture Nils Melzer, and he wrote a book about it, mirrors the breaking of the dissident Winston Smith in George Orwell's novel 1984. The Gestapo broke bones. The East German Stasi broke souls. We too have refined the cruder forms of torture to destroy souls as well as bodies. It's more effective. This is what they're doing to Julian, steadily degrading his physical and psychological health. It is a slow-motion execution, and this is by design. He's already had a stroke. We don't even know how many.
Yep.
We haven't heard his voice in how many years? I mean, we don't even know.
But, Indy, there was a letter.
Well, we're going to get to that letter, too. We're going to read that, too, tonight. But Julian has spent much of his time in isolation, is often heavily sedated, and has been deemed denied medical treatment for a variety of physical ailments. He's routinely denied access to his lawyers. He's lost a lot of weight, suffered a minor stroke, spent time in prison hospital wing, which prisoners call the hell wing, because he is suicidal, been placed on prolonged solitary confinement, observed banging his head against the wall and hallucinating.
Oh, God.
Our version of Orwell's dreaded Room 101. Julian was marked for elimination by the CIA once he and WikiLeaks published the documents known as Vault 7, which exposed the CIA's cyber warfare arsenal, which dozens of viruses, Trojans, and malware remote control systems designed to exploit a wide range of U.S. and European company products, including Apple's iPhone, Google's Android, Microsoft's Windows, and even Samsung's smart TVs, which can be turned into covert microphones even when they appear to be switched off. Yes, this was in the Vault 7 leaks. Yep. I spent 2 decades as a foreign correspondent. Again, this is Chris Hedges. I saw how the brutal tools of repression are tested on those France Fanon called the wretched of the earth. From its inception, the CIA carried out assassinations, coup, torture, black propaganda campaigns, blackmail, and illegal spying and abuse, including of U.S. citizens, activities exposed in 1975 by the Church Committee hearings in the Senate and the Pike Committee hearings in the House. All these crimes, especially after the attacks of 9/11, have returned with a vengeance. The CIA have its own armed units and drone program, the death squads, and a vast archipelago of global black sites where kidnapped victims are tortured and disappeared. They also own In-Q-Tel, which I'm guessing he's going to get to here. The U.S. allocates a secret black budget of about $50 billion a year to hide multiple types of clandestine projects carried out by the National Security Agency, the CIA, and other intelligence agencies, usually beyond the scrutiny of consorting. Wait, I missed it. Scrutiny of Congress. I don't know.
You were right.
I missed of consorting with known torturers and
consorting with known torturers.
The scrutiny of known torturers and international terrorists. It feels weird, but fear the puppet masters, not the puppets. They are the enemy within. This is the fight for a fight.
Song?
Yeah, I just got all weird out there. Sorry, I had a brain freeze. This is a fight for Julian, whom I know and admire. That's Chris again, but also I admire deeply. It's a fight for his family, who are working tirelessly for his release. It's a fight for the rule of law. It's a fight for the freedom of the press. And it's a fight to save what's left of our diminishing democracy, whatever that means. And it's a fight we must not lose. And ScheerPost is begging you that there is now no way left for me to continue to write a weekly column for ScheerPost, this is from Chris, and produce my weekly television show without your help. The walls are closing in, starting with rapidity on independent journalism, with the elites, including the Democratic Party elites, clamoring for more and more censorship. Bob Scheer, who runs ScheerPost on a shoestring budget, and I will not waver at our commitment to independent and honest journalism, and we will never put ScheerPost behind a paywall, charge a subscription for it, sell your data, or accept advertising. So please, if you can, sign up at chrishedges.substack.com. That's one way to do it. So he can continue to post his weekly Monday column on ScheerPost and produce his weekly television show, the Chris Hedges Report. He's a legend. He's one of the best we've got. He's incredibly doomerish, I know. And it's a grim way to start. Sorry for that, but get some merch, everybody.
Right.
But we got a bunch. We got a bunch more Julian stories along this track. Julian, let me say for our Trailer Park Boys fans, Julian, and let's go over to this view for the next one, which is the gaslighting of Assange, which we see, and this was out of a publication that we used to cover a lot and stopped covering because they went super shit libby. And went completely kaflooey, honestly, on COVID. And that's World Socialist website, but they did write a good one this week. So I figured, let me throw them in there. So, Joe Biden saying journalism isn't a crime, right? Except for, of course, we know.
Yep.
That guy. Julian. The annual dinner of the White House Correspondents Association is an occasion for the media elite and top politicians in Washington to schmooze and declare their mutual solidarity. This is usually couched in the language of defense of the First Amendment, although that constitutional provision has been systemically trampled on by administration after administration in the interests of American imperialism. Yep. This is Patrick Martin, by the way. Illegal government spying, police violence, and the violation of such basic democratic precepts as the separation of church and state are everyday practices in America, and the corporate media generally passes over them in silence as long as its own financial interests are not harmed. There was more than the usual measure of such hypocrisy at Saturday night's annual dinner of the White House Correspondents Association, as President Joe Biden, and the assembled members of the political and media elite pretended to defend freedom of the press, but only when it came to serving the foreign policy interests of American imperialism. How about that? Most presidential appearances at the dinner, attended by every president in recent years, except, of course, Trump, have been characterized by scripted remarks making fun of the audience, the president's political opponents and critics, and then the president himself. But Biden devoted the bulk of his remarks to a lengthy declaration of his opposition to the repressive measures taken against journalists in Russia and China, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, and pledges to devote U.S. diplomatic efforts to winning the release of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, recently arrested on bogus spying charges in Russia, and other American prisoners of the Putin regime. This is World Socialist website, guys. Hey. The coincidence between the list of countries guilty of violating press freedom and the list of countries targeted by American imperialism for subversion and overthrow was obvious. Biden made no reference, for example, to the murder of Washington Post commentator Jamal Khashoggi, killed and dismembered inside of the consulate of Saudi Arabia in the Turkish city of Istanbul. Of course, Khashoggi, who was an advisor turned critic of the Saudi monarchy, was targeted by the de facto Saudi ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. That's bonesaw to everyone else. His security chief sent out the hit squad and directed its actions. Biden claimed during the 2020 election campaign that he would turn the Saudi leader into a pariah. Instead, in pursuit of greater Saudi oil production, he went cap in hand to Riyadh for talks with the prince/assassin. But, of course, the most obvious case of a double standard was one that involves the Biden administration directly, the persecution of Julian Assange. And this is why I picked this article. The WikiLeaks founder, WikiLeaks, we got to get that for the board, and publisher, most importantly to me, publisher, was trapped in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for nearly 7 years after he sought political asylum there against a U.S. campaign to seize him and bring him to the United States for prosecution on espionage charges for exposing U.S. war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan and at the Guantanamo Bay torture prison. Since Assange was seized by British police, who raided the embassy 4 years ago, he's been held in solitary confinement in Belmarsh, a high-security prison for terrorists and violent criminals in London, awaiting extradition to the United States, where he would face 175 years in prison if convicted under the Espionage Act. He would be the first journalist prosecuted under the century-old law, passed amid the anti-communist hysteria whipped up as part of U.S. entry into World War I. Talking about a 100-year-old law. 3 minutes into his remarks to the Saturday night festivities, it might as well have been SNL, Biden declared, "Journalism is not a crime." The formulation seemed a perverse restatement of a declaration issued by half a dozen major world newspapers, including the New York Times, last December, when they called on the Biden administration to drop the charges against Assange because publishing is not a crime.
Not a crime.
Speaking as a publisher, that definitely means a lot to me, and I agree. It is noteworthy that in their coverage of the Correspondents' Dinner, neither the Times nor the Washington Post nor any other mainstream publication, and I can't stand that word mainstream, made any mention of Assange or the contradiction between Biden's declaration of fidelity to the First Amendment and the continued drive of his administration to extradite and jail Assange. Nor did any media correspondents or management, the bulk of the audience at the dinner, seek to raise the issue there. Surprise, surprise, surprise. 7 Democratic members of Congress. What was that? Did you hit that?
I was going to say that's another good one for the soundboard.
Yeah. 7 Democratic members of Congress, including all 5 members of the DSA, which, okay, recently sent a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland urging him to drop prosecution of Assange. None of these representatives sought to raise the issue at the Correspondents' White Dinner, which took place only 4 days before World Press Freedom Day, as designated by the United Nations. Wow.
Yep.
Later, in his remarks, Biden flattered the press, declaring, "You make it possible for ordinary citizens to question authority." Now get over here, Jack.
Come on, man.
Fuck off. Actually, the American corporate media has abandoned even a token commitment to such oppositional stance toward the U.S. government. The Times, which sets the agenda for the daily coverage in the American media, is little more than an adjunct to the CIA and Pentagon on national security issues, particularly the war in Ukraine. State Department, too. when National Guard airman and IT specialist Jack Teixeira released top secret Pentagon documents on the internet, which he didn't, but okay, he published them to Discord, but that's another story. The Times tracked him down and published his name, enabling the FBI to swoop in and arrest a 21-year-old soldier only hours later. You think they didn't know who he was?
Yep.
Okay. Biden's paean to the American media and his declaration to the devotion of his declaration of devotion to the First Amendment were followed by a series of obvious and banal jokes, largely at the expense of Fox News, as well as a few references to his advanced age, as though that was the only issue standing in the way of his re-election campaign. He made no mention of the war in Ukraine, which every day threatens to escalate into a nuclear exchange between the U.S. and Russia, or of the COVID pandemic, which remains a deadly threat to the world's population. Like I said, this is World Socialist Fund's website. It was notable that those who attended the Correspondents' Dinner, like other large public figures in Washington and throughout the country, were entirely unmasked. There was no effort to shield anyone, including the 80-year-old Biden, from the danger of an infection that could have lethal consequences. I don't think they'd be all that upset, honestly.
Nope.
Come on, Jack. This is a picture of Joe actually at the Correspondents' Dinner before he soiled himself, of course.
Actually, that looks like a mask. Yeah.
Well, the
looks
whole
like
thing,
the wax figure from
the whole thing could be a mask, like a Mission Impossible kind of like the thing that sticks all the way and from a body double or a CIA agent. No, it could never be like anything quite like that ever happening with the voice replicator and everything like that. It's all yes, that's exactly right, Crab. It's AI. Oh, right. I don't have that turned on. For that, no Twidget app. So let's go back to our 2-box over here. Check on chat. Wow, we got some people chatting. Hey, what's up, everybody? Global Solidarity. How are you? Yeah, we'd love to get a mic for our buddy over there. That would be cool to get Gamer a mic so that they could join in and do a podcast. Gamer, if you get yourself a mic, I definitely highly encourage you to do a podcast. You're in all these chats. You know all the rhetoric. You know what everybody says and what they're doing. I'll bet you'd be great at it. So, hiya, Gamer. Brad, the Snow Himbo, welcome, dude. You've been keeping me laughing all week, and I appreciate the fuck out of you because it's been a really, really hard week. And I've definitely laughed out loud reading a few of your tweets and DMs, and I've needed that bad. Rick Solis, Jamom. Hi, everybody. I saw everybody over in Sabby Chat earlier tonight. Go. I would tell you to subscribe to Sabby Sabs, but everybody here already does because she's awesome. Fred Edward, thank you so much for all your help as always. You're the man. You're the man. You're the man. So, 2 more Assange stories still, and the next one is going to be that letter that you referred to. Julian wrote to the king on his coronation.
Yep.
This language was something. So, this was from our friend over on Substack, The Naked Emperor. Follow them at nakedemperor.substack.com.
But you got new clothes, huh?
Well, not yet because he's still naked. But
so was the one after, but yes.
Yes. What? Huh? Who's naked?
Okay.
Yes. So, the World Health Organization, the WHO, has declared the COVID pandemic over. The contagion of a virus named because its crown of spikes, Corona, is declared to be over the day before the crown is placed on the head of the WEF King, Charles III, and his coronation. Oh, look at that. Clever with the Corona in caps and coronation. Oh, that's funny. Wordplay aside. Okay, I guess it didn't hit the mark quite where it thought. I think in years to come, people will look back on the monarchy in the same way they do with slavery. Shocks me that in supposedly modern day and age, people still think that a royal family is superior to them due to their one qualification of being born. Anyway, that's a discussion for another article. Today's post reproduces Julian Assange's letter to King Charles on his coronation. For those who don't know, Julian is the founder of WikiLeaks, which published a series of leaks from the U.S. Army intelligence analyst Bradley Chelsea Manning. I don't want a dead name, but at the time it was Bradley. She's since transitioned and she's now Chelsea. We respect her.
Yep.
After the leaks, the U.S. government launched by criminal investigations into WikiLeaks. With constant worries about being extradited to the U.S., Assange took refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for 7 years. This asylum was withdrawn in 2019, at which point he was arrested and confined, mainly in solitary confinement, in the most secure prison unit in the UK, His Majesty's Prison, Belmarsh. It used to be called Her Majesty's Prison, but now they've changed it. Julian writes to the king from within His Majesty's pleasure. And I'm not going to do it in an accent. I'm going to read it in my way. But to His Majesty King Charles III. King Charles III. On the coronation of my liege, I thought it only fitting to extend a heartfelt invitation to you to commemorate this monumentous occasion by visiting your very own kingdom within a kingdom, His Majesty's Prison, Belmarsh. You will no doubt recall the wise words of a renowned playwright. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. Ah, but what would that bard know of mercy faced with the reckoning at the dawn of your historic reign? After all, one can truly know the measure of a society by how it treats its prisoners, and your kingdom has surely excelled in that regard. Your Majesty's Prison, Belmarsh, is located at the prestigious address of 1 Western Way, London, just a short fox hunt from the old Royal Naval College in Greenwich. How delightful it must be to have such an esteemed establishment bear your name. It is here that 687 of your loyal subjects are held, supporting the United Kingdom's record as the nation within the largest prison population in Western Europe. As your noble government has recently declared, your kingdom is currently undergoing, quote, the biggest expansion of prison places in over a century, unquote, with its ambitious projections showing an increase of the prison population from 82,000 to 106,000 within the next 4 years. Quite the legacy indeed. Right. 24,000 new prisoners? A 25% increase? That's insane. As a political prisoner, held at your Majesty's pleasure on behalf of an embarrassed foreign sovereign, I am honored to reside within the walls of this world-class institution. Truly, your kingdom knows no bounds. During your visit, you will have the opportunity to feast upon the culinary delights prepared for you, for your loyal subjects, on a generous budget of £2 per day. Savor the blended tuna heads and ubiquitous reconstituted forms that are purportedly made from chicken. And worry not, for unlike lesser institutions such as Alcatraz or San Quentin, there is no communal dining in a mess hall. At Belmarsh, prisoners dine alone in their cells, ensuring the utmost intimacy with their meal.
Yep.
Beyond the gustatory pleasures, I can assure you that Belmarsh provides ample educational opportunities for your subjects. As Proverbs 22:6 has it, train up a child the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Observe the shuffling queues at the medicine hatch, where inmates gather their prescriptions, not for daily use, but for the horizon-expanding experience of a big day out all at once. You will have the opportunity to pay your respects to my late friend Manuel Santos, a gay man facing deportation to Bolsonaro's Brazil, who took his own life just 8 yards from my cell using a crude rope fashioned from his bedsheets. His exquisite tenor voice now silenced forever. Venture further into the depths of Belmarsh, and you'll find the most isolated place within its walls, healthcare, or Hellcare, as its inhabitants lovingly call it. Here, you'll marvel at sensible rules designed for everyone's safety, such as the prohibition of chess, whilst permitting the far less dangerous game of checkers. Deep within Hellcare lies the most gloriously uplifting place in all of Belmarsh, nay, the world of the United Kingdom, the sublimely named Belmarsh End-of-Life Suite. Listen closely, and you may hear the prisoner's cries of, "Brother, I'm going to die in here," a testament to both the quality of both life and death within your prison. Jesus Christ, so dark. But fear not, for there is beauty to be found within these walls. Feast your eyes upon the picturesque crows nesting in the razor wire and the hundreds of hungry rats that call Belmarsh home. And if you come in spring, you may even catch a glimpse of the ducklings laid by wayward mallards within the prison grounds, but don't delay, for the ravenous rats ensure their lives are fleeting. I implore you, King Charles, to visit His Majesty's prison Belmarsh, for it is an honor befitting a king. As you embark upon your reign, may you always remember the words of the King James Bible, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." And may mercy be the guiding light of your kingdom, both within and without the walls of Belmarsh. Your most devoted subject, Julian Assange. Wow.
Allegedly.
Now, I'm going to say something that's... no, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it. Chris Hedges earlier said that he knew that Julian had suffered several strokes, was psychologically and physically tortured, was not well. Yet, and mentally, also mentally not well. But that's incredible. I mean, I read it right away. I was like, how was it even delivered? How was it written? Did they even allow him to have pen and paper? Like,
maybe.
I hate that I even am asking that question, and I'm sorry for asking that question. I really am, because nobody wants to see this man freed more than I do, honestly. That's not true. There are
Well, how many letters has he sent? Like, he's been there for how long? This is the only thing we've gotten from him?
No, it's not the only thing, but it's been very drippy and drabby and rando, and I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Free Julian Assange. Free fucking Julian Assange right now. Free that man right now. Get him out. Let's get him home. Get him with his family. Get him with his kids. Free Julian Assange. Almost like a verbal tick, but it's not. And it's... Anyway.
Yep.
Let me go to our last Assange story, which is another Joe Lauria Consortium News. Our friends over at Consortium News, outstanding publication. Subscribe, support them, please. Joe Lauria is their managing editor. He wrote another banger. You know, we covered a Joe Lauria story last week where there was a speech that he had given about Julian in front of Justice Department. And this week, we've got Consortium News Indie Media Award honoree again. Talk about Albo. So their prime minister,
right,
Albanese, he spoke with ABC, which is the Australian broadcasting company, while in London for the Coronation. And they asked him about Assange. So that's pretty interesting. Love that guy. Joe Lauria is great. All right. And there he is meeting with Biden at the East Asia Summit. That was back in November. But Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said he has unequivocally stated his position to the United States that a diplomatic resolution to the case of Julian Assange must be made. That's nice. In his clearest statement yet about the fate of the imprisoned WikiLeaks publisher, Albanese told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation in an interview in London that he's told the U.S. Justice Department that Assange's case must come to an end. And I agree. I continue to say in private what I said publicly as Labour leader and what I've said as Prime Minister, that enough is enough, Albanese told the ABC. This needs to be brought to a conclusion. It needs to be worked through. We're working through diplomatic channels. We're making very clear what our position is on Mr. Assange's case. But so far, the Justice Department, of course, has not yielded in its pursuit of Assange on espionage charges that could land him in U.S. prison for up to 175 years if he's extradited from Britain and convicted in the U.S. on all 17 or 18 charges that he's being charged with. So Albo says, I know it's frustrating. I share the frustration. I can't do more than make very clear what my position is, he said. And the U.S. administration is certainly very aware of what the Australian government's position is. That's nice to know. But asked whether he would raise the Assange issue directly with Joe Biden when the president visits Australia later this month, Albo said, quote, the way that diplomacy works is probably not the forecast discussions that you will have or have had with leaders of other nations. He appears to not have looked deeply into the facts on the case against Assange, surprise, surprise, when he asserted in the interview that he understood U.S. concerns that confidential information could lead to consequences for the people who were engaged in an activity. What? Assange's legal team laid out during extradition proceedings in London that he did not release unredacted versions of the U.S. diplomatic cables containing some of the names of U.S. informants until after two Guardian journalists provided the password to those files in a book that they wrote, and only after a German publication, Encryptome.com, published the unredacted files first. Additionally, upon cross-examination, of course, in the court-martial trial of former U.S. Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning for leaking the cables to Assange, U.S. General Robert Carr admitted there was no evidence that any informant had been harmed by the disclosures. What are we talking about here? Albanese cited Manning's case when discussing Assange's fate. I think that when Australians look at the circumstances, look at the fact that the person who released the information is walking freely now, having served some time in incarceration but is now released for a long period of time, then they'll see that there's a disconnect there. And that's what he said in his interview. But asked whether other leaders in the West were speaking out for the principles of free speech involved in Assange's case, Albanese, of course, told the ABC, we do value freedom of expression, but we also have, in today's uncertain world, legitimate concerns about our national security. So he's already hedging about censorship. Quote, I'm not going to sit here as someone who chairs our National Security Committee and say it's fine if you publish all the details about our National Security Committee deliberations, because if you did that, Australian lives would be put in danger. There are real consequences for that. I'm a big supporter of freedom of the press, but with that also comes a responsibility to take into account the consequences of whether the information is not available to the public, what the consequences would be if we just had a free-for-all. Well, in the extensive interview, this is really interesting, Albanese said he was concerned for Assange's health. There was a court decision here in the UK that was then overturned on appeal that went to his health as well. And I'm concerned for him. Yeah, sure he is. I'm sure he's very concerned. Until now, he's kept largely quiet about his dealings with the U.S. regarding Assange. That he spoke so openly about it in this interview is an indication not only of his frustration, but that he's decided going public could bring more public pressure on the U.S. to act. It also shows that the public pressure Albanese has faced up the ante may also have had an effect. And that's what I got on Julian and Julian's case and World Press Freedom Day and the gaslighting that's been happening. And can't say enough, free Julian Assange. I really hope that the Australian government is working overtime, which I know they're not, but they should be, to secure his freedom, because he is an Australian citizen who did not commit a crime in the United States. He published some he wasn't the one who committed the espionage at any time. He was the publisher, but it's Vault 7 that they really are going after him for, using the excuse of the Iraq war logs and Gitmo torture to do that. John Pilger is working overtime. Desert Mantis, and love to John Pilger. Love to all the journalists who are keeping this alive, like Joe Lauria, like Caitlin Johnstone, and of course, big shout out to our sister Misty Winston, who she does action for Assange. She does.
We're fucked.
Yep. Yes, we are. She's organizing. I don't even know when the next one's going to be. Probably over the summer. But she organizes protests and direct actions in support of raising awareness and getting more people to. Yeah. No, Caitlin Johnstone is evil. Oh my God, Brad. Don't even get started. Don't get me started. Holy shit. Yeah, there were some. Apparently, Caitlin Johnstone derangement syndrome is real, and Brad found someone who suffers from it, and it was pretty damn sad to watch that meltdown happen. All it takes is for one bastard to drop the charges on Assange, and then he can go home. That's absolutely right. CJDS. Well, there's nice. Already. Yep. TJDS. There's all different kinds of derangement syndromes.
Yep.
What else is happening? Off with their heads. What is what Reef didn't just scream in the ether about the war criminals? Yes, that is correct. Off with their heads.
Yep.
Yep. Mastermind Hour. Oh, that's a good one. Let me put that up. It turns out I got my blood type tested, and it turns out where is that? I am a pessimist. Yeah. So is Chris Hedges. So am I, for sure. I mean, I do have hope. I mean, I have children. I have to have some hope. But number one rule about Fight Club is that you don't talk about Julian Assange. Wait, no, that's the number one rule of American corporate journalism. That's right. But I'm Mad Mom, Bad Cookies, everybody. So good to see everyone. All right. So NATO. Is NATO finished? I don't know. But this is pretty interesting.
I hope so.
Elizabeth Voss, also from Consortium News, who's one of our Indie Media Award honorees. Yep, thank you. She was on Misty Winston's radio show the other night, on Friday night. You can check that out on tntradio.live. Find Misty's page. You can go to the listen backs. It's also on Spotify under TNT Radio. She will also be on Misty's show this Friday night. But she wrote this article about depleted uranium, and I know that Reef and Colin covered England and the UK sending depleted uranium to Ukraine and the war crime that is. But she wrote something about this too, about using using poison in Ukraine's depleted hope of victory. Like I said, the Media Award honoree. So, depleted uranium shells have been sent to Ukraine as confirmed by UK Armed Forces Minister James Heappey last week. Heappey. All those British names are weird. Britain announced last month that it would send the munitions for use with Challenger 2 tanks, a move that immediately escalated nuclear tensions with Russia, with President Vladimir Putin threatening to place tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus just days later. The saber rattling's a really good idea, guys. The UK move comes amid indications that Kiev is increasingly desperate to the point. I actually like the buttery chicken, to the point of being willing to risk
chicken Kiev
scorching the earth it is fighting for. I think they kind of already did that in Bakhmut, or did Wagner. I don't know. Over the last few months, documents emerging as part of the so-called Pentagon leak, allegedly posted online by U.S. National Guardsman Jack Teixeira, have shown Ukrainian forces are faring far worse than previously reported by corporate media. Surprise, surprise. As reported by Consortium News, the leaked documents show the long-planned Ukrainian offensive will fail miserably. That's always nice to see a long-planned offensive failing miserably, kind of like their spring offensive that isn't really happening. That the conflict is not going well for Ukraine, came as little surprise to those who had been following the story outside of the legacy press echo chamber. However,
I saw there was something from WAPO too that like said something about the counteroffensive might not be what people expected. Like it was like, you know, it's not going to be that good, guys. Like it was that.
They're definitely setting you up. But however, Britain's decision to send depleted uranium rounds to Ukraine represents more than a dangerous escalation in the West's proxy war with a nuclear-armed power. It's an example of Ukraine's willingness to target the ethnic Russian population in eastern Ukraine and poison the land it's attempting to retain. Depleted uranium will have effects not only on Russian fighters, but also on the civilian population for years to come. Radio host Randy Credico, who recently visited the Donbass. Hey, we know him. Recently,
and visited Tara Reid.
He also recently did have an interview with Tara Reid. I was going to mention that afterwards. But Randy recently visited the Donbass, and he told Consortium News that residents of that region already live in daily fear of U.S.-made missiles used by Ukraine to target civilians and the emergency services that come to help them. Now, they're to face the additional prospect of depleted uranium shells, which would not simply kill civilians now, but has the potential to poison future generations. I know he discussed this with Tara
as it
on
has
her
done,
stream.
As it has done in Fallujah, specifically. Go look up that crap about what it did to children there.
Right.
They talked about it affected more people than Hiroshima, and like both the nuclear bombs. So.
And it caused all kinds of infertilities and stillborns and birth defects and horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
And there are the Ukrainians in Donbass. That was in March 2015. After the siege or the initial Minsk Accords. Russia intervened in Ukraine after 8 years of war by Kiev against the ethnic Russians in the east, who declared independence from Ukraine after the U.S.-backed 2014 coup. The U.S. and British corporate media appeared to dismiss concerns of Russian nuclear escalation in response to the use of depleted uranium rounds, and the official line in the West is that such weapons represent a low environmental risk.
Yep.
There's also, and Tara's been talking about this, there was chatter among the community, whatever it was that she's connected to, that they were okay with a limited nuclear strike and they thought that it would not affect Americans, and Western Europe. Are they out of their minds? So we're going to get into the sordid history of its use. Yes, I know the answer is yes. However, there are compelling reasons to question the official stance. Depleted uranium rounds were used by U.S. forces in both Iraq wars as well as in the Balkans in the 1990s. Depleted uranium munitions are heavier than lead and are typically used to pierce the armor of tanks. On impact, the metal shears, burns, and vaporizes. This produces toxic radioactive dust. A 2001 report focusing on the health impacts of depleted uranium on U.S. veterans of the Gulf War, published by The Nation, explains that depleted uranium, is highly toxic and, according to the Encyclopedia of Occupational Health and Safety, can cause lung cancer, bone cancer, and kidney disease. Scientists point out that depleted uranium becomes much more dangerous when it burns. When fired, it combusts on impact. As much as 70% of the material is released as a radioactive and highly toxic dust that can be inhaled or ingested and then trapped in the lungs or kidneys. Yay! Quote, "This is when it becomes most dangerous," says Arjun Makhijani, who is the president of the Institute for Energy and Environmental Research. It becomes a powder in the air that can irradiate you. Oh my God. A powder in the air that can irradiate you. Let me say that again. It becomes a powder in the air that can irradiate you. Thanks, depleted uranium. Thank you, UK. A 1999 report by the Guardian related the sentiments of scientists.
Oh, we also tested our depleted uranium munitions in Hawaii on Kilauea, right under that big telescope. By the way.
Nice.
So a bunch of the native people there are like upset at the health crisis it's caused. So yeah, good stuff.
Right.
So, and Florida's going to put depleted radioactive stuff in our roads. That's going to go real well.
Yep. Because Florida.
Yeah.
So, a 1999 report by Guardian related the sentiments of scientists speaking in regards to bombing Kosovo with depleted uranium. Quote, one single particle of depleted uranium lodged in the lymph node can devastate the entire immune system. Former UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter commented on the news of depleted uranium rounds being sent to Ukraine by citing increases in leukemia where it had previously been used in Kosovo, as well as increases in birth defects and cancer in Iraq following the wars there. Mentioned that before. This is sites identified by UN Environmental Program as targets for ordnance containing depleted uranium during NATO's 99 bombing of the former Yugoslavia. You see all those stars, and that's a lot of stars all over the map. Those are targeted sites.
Yep.
He argues, and that's Ritter, that the U.S. suppresses the health effects of depleted uranium because we don't want to take ownership for what we've done. In John Pilger's film, documenting Iraq after the first Gulf War, paying the price, killing the children of Iraq, he spoke with doctors in Basra, where they reported a 10-fold increase in cancer deaths. Pilger also spoke with an Iraqi pediatrician who described an influx of congenital deformities never before seen prior to the war.
I've seen that as well. Also, I do want to point out, because it pointed out when we talked about it, that Russia has also used rounds like this. When I did my research, all I saw was rifle rounds with depleted uranium, which I think they argue that that's like, I think it was during the Balkans they were used, right? So, yeah, I didn't know if tank rounds were a thing with that, which would have more uranium material, thus leaving more radioactive material. And I think they stopped using them because of the problems that they found with it. You know? So
that would make
there's
sense.
That.
That would make sense. There is that.
Yeah. But generally it's just harder than tungsten, even though the Russians are using tanks that tungsten would easily pierce, which they've said. Like NATO has said that. Well, you're using old tanks. We can just use old stuff.
Yep.
So,
well, we're not giving them the new stuff, but actually now I believe we're starting to produce new stuff just to send to Ukraine, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah. In the case of the Second Iraq War, the most striking reported effects of depleted uranium and other toxic substances were seen in Fallujah, where U.S. forces bombed mercilessly in 2004, as Reef mentioned earlier. The rise in birth defects in Iraq have been called catastrophic, and The Guardian went so far as to publish a piece in 2014 that accused the WHO of covering up the nuclear nightmare left behind in Fallujah by the U.S. and U.K. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the depleted uranium in Hawaii that you talked about from 2018. This is a simulated DU training. Others...
Look at that. I know stuff.
Others have compared the city's health crisis with that following the U.S. nuclear attack on Hiroshima. Yay!
Yep.
The specific role of depleted uranium rounds in the sharply increased rate of cancer and serious birth defects remains controversial, but the accounts of doctors on the ground in Fallujah who have documented such birth defects, cancers, and other health problems are staggering. Is this the future faced by...
That's a lot of damage!
Yeah. Is this the future faced by generations of ethnic Russians in Ukraine? Well, they wouldn't.
Very
Ukrainians,
much so.
Kiev wouldn't call them ethnic Russians. They would call them Ukrainians. But when Ukraine is already set to lose, if slowly, on the battlefield, what's to be gained by taking out a few more Russian tanks if it permanently renders the land a danger to its inhabitants, permeated with toxic dust particles of radioactive heavy material? What are you fighting for at that point if you're destroying the land?
let's go back to what Ukraine is. What resource does it produce?
Wheat.
What has gone up since yes. They are literally salting the earth right now with Europe's biggest breadbasket.
How can this decision be viewed as anything but a spiteful admission that that land is being lost and that salting it is a final act of malice against ethnic Russians in Donbass? The use of DU munitions in Ukraine amounts to a last gasp of desperation and an attempt to contaminate territory Kiev knows it will not regain. 4 such weapons would not be supplied by Britain and used by Ukraine on land they were confident they would recapture because they wouldn't put their own citizens through that kind of poison.
Yep.
Support independent media. Elizabeth Voss is a freelance journalist, contributor, Consortium News. You can follow her on Twitter at Elizabeth Lee, Lea Voss. She's a badass. I love her. She recently followed me because she recently fixed that situation because I showed her, hey, how are you not following me at this point? Like, we've known each other for a while. She's like, oh, what? Huh? Because I show up so much. I know. Like, seriously. But I show up so much in everybody's feed, I guess, that they don't even realize when they're not following me. Or Twitter must have unfollowed her, which could have happened too. Because that never happens on, as Brad calls it, the Bird app, right? Never happens on the Bird app.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, everybody. We're live on Rumble. Hey, the Detoxer. Hi, the Detoxer. Welcome. Swanamo. How are you? Good to see you. So there are real humans over there. Royal family was executed a while ago. See Grim Reaper at the Coronation. May 5th was a day the royal family surrendered to the Scots. Interesting. The Khashoggi family. Here, let me put this up.
If you don't comment or like on Rumble and Rockfin,
you are fake news.
You're fake news.
Let me put that up real quick.
That's what you are. You don't exist.
So what the Detoxer is saying over here is a few things. Cool. So World Socialist website is run by cucks and globalist shills. It's a CIA op. No argument there. Well, actually, a little bit of argument there. I don't think it's a CIA op, but it's definitely not one of my favorite websites, though this was a pretty decent article. Trump gave him a pardon. I don't know why he didn't follow through. Still, most deep underground military bases have been destroyed by various militaries around the world. So many resignations. He also says that most journalists have fled to Russia. The Khashoggi family was a CIA asset. MBS worked to take out the Saudi deep state and CIA despite the odds against him. That's an opinion. The royal family was executed a while ago. I said, see Grim Reaper at the Coronation. That's pretty funny. And then that they destroyed Ecuador just because of that, which was what they did to take in Assange. And I agree with all that for sure. But thank you for chatting over on Rumble and proving that Rumble is not fake news. We also are live over on the Rockfin. Rockfin.com/IND left news. Everything.com/IND left news, except of course Rumble, but that's another story. Go to indieleft.media for all of our links. That's a whole lot easier to remember. So I have one more story, and it is freaking horrific. Oh my God. It's a short one, and we're going to get through it quick. But shish, let's get to it. Yeah. I can't even believe I have to cover a story like this. 10-year-old kid. And this is not 10-year-old kids eating McDonald's. This is 10-year-old kids working at McDonald's for free. So, before we start this, actually, let me go back here for 1 second to our two-shot. I actually have a little video from Bean Boy, but it's not Bean Boy. Actually, technically, it is the ladies at Popular Information, and I'm so thrilled that they're branching off on their own and doing something without
it's
Jody.
A lady.
It's a lady. So I'm going to copy that link.
I need that on the soundboard.
Oh my God, yes we do. We need a ladies man for sure. All right, so let's go over here and pause.
You burned down my houseboat.
You burned down
that
my
ain't
houseboat.
cool.
Why can't I? Oh, I know why. Sign in. That's why. Because it's asking me to sign in. All right. Pause. Okay. This is popular information. This was on Instagram, and I don't know how to full screen this for some reason. Let's go back.
It might not full screen.
Bop.
That might be not a thing that happens.
And full screen. No, I don't want to go full screen. I wanted to go full screen off. Two shot. Go there and slideshow off.
Wait a minute.
There we go.
Right.
Now we got it. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So our friends over at Popular Information over on the Instagrams made this video. And I figured let's watch this because it's short. It's a reel. And then we'll read the article that goes with it. So.
Labor Department found that a 15-year-old worker at a Tennessee-based McDonald's franchise suffered hot oil burns after being illegally assigned to use a deep fryer. In recent years, the U.S. has seen a massive increase in child labor exploitations. In February, the U.S. Labor Department announced a crackdown on child labor after tracking a 69% increase in illegally employed kids since 2018. While child exploitation is on the rise, Republicans across America are working simultaneously to weaken child labor laws. In 2023, bills proposing to weaken protections against child labor have already been introduced in 7 states. In February, Packers Sanitation Services, one of the largest food sanitation services in the U.S., paid $1.5 million in civil money penalties after an investigation found that the company employed over 100 children from ages 13 to 17 in hazardous occupations. 2 of the Packers meatpacking plants were in Arkansas. In March, Governor Huckabee Sanders signed a law removing the requirement for children under 16 to provide an employment certificate to work, which required proof of age. This is Popular Information, a newsletter that holds the powerful accountable. Now follow along here and subscribe for more accountability journalism. This week, a federal...
And do that. Subscribe there for sure. They're on Instagram. They're everywhere, but they're on Substack. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. And once in a while, they'll put out a video on YouTube, unless maybe they're doing these shorts now to YouTube, which would be great if they do. I love these guys. They're great. One of my favorites. They were an OG over at Substack, one of the first. Judd Legume, who Reef lovingly refers to as Bean Boy.
Bean Boy.
Slideshow on. Okay. Actually, Bean Boy didn't write this one. This was Tesnim, Zekeria, and Rebecca Crosby, who Judd has hired after growing and expanding his readership and his paid subscribers. He's one of the largest and has one of the largest paid subscriptions to Substack there is. And there's a good reason why.
Wow.
This week, like she says, a federal investigation found that 3 Kentucky-based McDonald's franchises illegally employed at least 305 children, including some as young as 10 years old. The 3 franchises, Bauer Food LLC, Archways Richwood LLC, say that 5 times fast, and Bell Restaurant Group
Archways Richwood LLC, Archways Richwood LLC, Archway Richwood LLC, Archways Richwood LLC, Archway Richwood LLC.
Yes. Operates 62 stores across Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, and Ohio. Federal guidelines, of course, restrict the number of hours and types of jobs 14 and 15-year-olds can perform. According to investigators, however, children at these McDonald's locations were found working more than the legally permitted hours and performing tasks prohibited by law for young workers. Wait, what? Yes.
What?
One of the franchises, Bauer Food LLC, also illegally employed 2 10-year-olds. Under the Fair Labor Standards Act, minors under the age of 14 are generally not permitted to work. Despite this, the 2 children did a variety of tasks like prepping food, cleaning the store, and taking drive-through orders, working as late as 2 a.m. A 10-year-old!
I'm in danger!
But wait, worse. According to the Labor Department, one of the 10-year-olds also operated a deep fryer, which is prohibited for workers below the age of 16. Neither of the 10-year-olds were even paid for their work, the Labor Department determined.
Do you remember?
Because how do you
remember
legally
that Canadian
pay a 10-year-old?
safety video I had you watch the other day?
Oh my God.
You remember that?
How do you legally
like, I should have cleaned up the oil spill over there.
No. Oh my God. Oh, dude, the melted face.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. People know what I'm talking about in the chat.
If they were here last week, yes, they would. But
that we didn't play it last week. That was something we didn't play live. It was just you.
Yes, but neither of the 10-year-olds, of course, were paid, though they worked until 2:00 in the morning. They operated the fryer. They worked the drive-through, and they didn't get paid because, of course, how the hell does a company legally pay a 10-year-old on the books?
They still can't get the Frosty machine to work, though, man.
No, all the ice cream machines are broken in time. Well, that's Matt Stoller did a whole expose on that. But anyway, because it's one company.
Yeah, it's because of the ice cream machine owns it, right? And they charge ridiculous costs for repair.
Yep.
And they offer no repair other than that.
So, Wage and Hour Division District Director Karen Garnett Civils said in a press release, quote, "Too often, employers fail to follow the child labor laws to protect young workers. Under no circumstances should there ever be a 10-year-old child working in a fast food kitchen around hot grills, ovens, and deep fryers." And I can't believe I just had to say that sentence. Meanwhile, at Bell Restaurant Group 1
at the Halls of
LLC,
Injustice.
That's right. 2 children under the age of 16 were allowed to work during school hours. During school.
2 children
under 16 were allowed to work during school hours. Now, I don't know if school was actually open or closed that day. I'm guessing that school was open and they needed the help and they did not care. These actions violate federal child labor regulations, which state that 14 and 15-year-olds generally cannot work during school hours. It might even be that during a break, they can't work they're not supposed to work during school hours. I'm not sure what the law says, but still, 14 and 15-year-olds. This is not the first time that a McDonald's restaurant has employed and endangered minors. Just last month, the Labor Department found that a 15-year-old worker at a Tennessee McDonald's franchise suffered hot oil burns after being illegally assigned to use a deep fryer. In February,
that was that show. We watched that.
Yes, in February, 7 McDonald's locations in It's amazing. In February, 7 McDonald's locations in Pennsylvania illegally allowed 154 children younger than 16 to work at times not permitted by child labor laws, and for more hours.
Wait. 154 children. Not like 5 children, like 154 children.
Did you not hear what I said in the beginning to start the story? The number is
no, I know.
305.
305.
Children.
Jesus Christ.
All right. To work at times not legally permitted by child labor laws and for more hours per week than allowed. 9 workers under 16 were also found to be using deep fryers. And then, of course, in December, another investigation found that 13 McDonald's locations in the greater Pittsburgh area permitted 14 and 15-year-old employees to work outside permissible hours, affecting 101 minors, another 100 kids there. At one of these locations, a worker younger than 16 was also allowed to operate the deep fryer.
Well, who else is going to do it, Indy?
The labor
I'm sorry. It's just like
we live in hell. I swear we live in hell. The Labor Department's findings come at a time where there's been a surge in reported child labor violations. This uptick in violations has also coincided, not really, with efforts by state lawmakers to weaken child labor laws. So let's talk about the national surge. In recent years, the U.S. has seen a massive increase in child labor exploitations. In February, the U.S. Department of Labor announced a crackdown on child labor after tracking a 69% increase, like she said on the video, in illegally employed kids since 2018. According to the Labor Department in 2022, there were 835 cases involving child labor violations affecting 3,876 minors. I can't. If I were the parent of one of these kids. Recent child labor violations include one of the largest labor cases in the department's history. In February, the Labor Department announced that Packers Sanitation Services, one of the largest food sanitation providers in the U.S., paid $1.5 million in civil money penalties, which is nothing, after an investigation found that the company employed over 100 children from ages 13 to 17 in, quote, hazardous occupations, unquote. So that boils down to about 15,000 a kid. What can we do the math there? Maybe 100 kids.
Sanitation services. So you're talking
15,000 a kid. Is that $1.5 million, or is that
hanging on to the back of a garbage truck? Like little Timmy's just okay.
No, here. The investigation found that the children were forced to work overnight shifts at 13 meat processing facilities in 8 states, including Tyson, JBS, Maple Leaf Farms, and Cargill plants. And I know Lee Camp did a whole video about how Cargill is one of the most evil companies in the world. Packer Sanitation Services also had children working with hazardous chemicals and cleaning meat processing equipment, including back saws, brisket saws, and head splitters.
Head splitters. That's what we call. See, that's a technical term in our industry. This is the head splitter 9000.
At least,
Jesus Christ, dude.
3 minors were injured while working for the company, according to the Labor Department. And then in July...
Are there just evil Pinocchio-level villains at the head of these? And
this one hits close to home. This one hits really close to home as someone who's in the automotive industry. But in July, Reuters reported that a Hyundai subsidiary, Smart Alabama LLC, had children as young as 12 working at a metal stamping plant in Alabama. I believe we covered that.
What Eminem did in the movie 8 Mile.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. State and federal laws prohibit working with dangerous machinery at metal stamping and processing and pressing operations before the age of 18. That, again, there needs to be a federal law written about this, and of course there is a state Alabama law, but now we know that those laws are being relaxed. Well, in December, Reuters reported that the state and federal authorities were investigating as many as 10 Alabama plants that supply Hyundai and Kia, Hyundai's sister company. The investigation came after a child labor probe found children as young as age 13 working at SL Alabama LLC, a Hyundai supplier. A raid of the facility resulted in several children being removed from the factory. After the reports, Hyundai promised to sever relations with both Smart and SL Alabama. And shout out to Randy Parker, CEO of Hyundai Motor America, who I am actually personally connected to in real life. And I'm going to be sending this to him as if he doesn't already know it. But man, that is just a disgusting black mark on our industry completely. And I know it happened under the previous CEO's watch, and Randy's actually a really good dude. If anyone will clean it up, I would hope it would be him, but
you're amazing, Randy.
Make love to me, Randy. We love you, Randy. Yes, that's a South Park reference.
Oh, God.
But deregulating child labor. So talking about this, while child labor exploitation is on the rise, Republican lawmakers across America are simultaneously pushing to weaken child labor laws. This is a uniquely Republican situation. According to the Economic Policy Institute in 2023, bills proposing to weaken protections against child labor have already been introduced in 7 states: Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. In Iowa, the introduced bill would remove restrictions on hazardous work in order to allow children as young as 14 to work in meat coolers and industrial laundries.
Oh yeah,
How about just,
well, screw you guys, I'm going home.
How about just fucking paying people? No, they'd rather just bringing kids. In Ohio,
get children who only need like jawbreaker money. Like, basically. Okay.
In Ohio, wait, so the bill proposes, this is crazy. The bill proposes extending the hours that teenagers are allowed to work. Additionally, legislation introduced this week in Wisconsin would permit children as young as 14 to serve alcohol at restaurants.
Oh, well, yeah, that's normal.
Totally perfectly normal there. In Arkansas, where two of the meatpacking plants implicated in the Packers Sanitation Services case are located, as she mentioned, our friend Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, not really, signed a law in March removing the requirement for children under 16 to provide an employment certificate to work. That certificate was provided by the Arkansas Department of Labor and included a signature of a parent or guardian and proof of age. In Missouri, a similar bill was recently introduced to eliminate the requirement for work permits.
No, just because my father had to walk uphill barefoot in the snow to go to his paper mill job when he was like 9, doesn't mean everyone else should. Like, what?
As Misty says, we're fucked.
We are. We are definitely.
I didn't want to do the story. I wanted to do the story. I didn't know whether to do the story or not. I know some people have covered it. I don't know if they've got. I didn't see anybody reference the popular info article, which was really in depth and covered a bunch of other stuff historically. Fuck, man. Buy some merch. Go to indiemediaawards.com. Join our Discord at independentleft.gg. Thank you. Go to independentleft.shop and you can get that merch. And all of our links, you can find all of them.
Shut up and take my money.
All those links are at indieleft.media. And I am done with stories. See? You worry every week that I'm gonna put you to sleep and that my stories are gonna run forever and that we're gonna do 2.5 hours worth of stories. We ran 6 articles.
Which is our average.
It took 1 hour 20.
Like
2.5 with your show. Yeah.
You did good this week.
With some bullets. So now so let's take a look at what some folks had to say in the chat during this awful article.
They talked about 2 Utes.
Matt John.
2 Utes.
Are you the dude I subscribe to on here that's playing music? I love your music if that is you. But I did subscribe to somebody who's been commenting and sharing, and he plays music on YouTube. And if that's you, that's awesome. So yeah, probably Mastermind, Burger Flipper, work release. Oh wow, there were a lot of chats. You guys were really You had a lot to say there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, they talked about Utes.
That is you. Great, Matt.
We talked about we didn't get into Marissa Tomei in that movie, although I would.
Yeah, I was told children should be seen and not heard too, but children should not be working for nothing or when they're age 14 at a meatpacking plant in dangerous.
I mean, that's perfect for Amazon. Material. Seen and not heard is perfect for that job.
They're going to get to retire at a useful age 70 if they can make it there. That's right.
Yeah, at a youthful age. We'll get them started early. Get that retirement fund up.
This sounds like Republicans trying to make the argument they can marry them too because they're already working. Rick Solis figuring out what's next.
What the fuck?
Yep. It's just brutal. This is just a horrible story, and I'm sorry to have to close it out on that one, but I thought it was super important.
Yeah.
And it's a Substack guy. I love shouting out our Substack folks and family over there. Judd Legume, who is one of the original OGs for Substack. So popular.info. Go support him. $50 a year, man, is all he needs. And they do some really good work over there. I give them a lot of credit, and they're every bit as good as Taibbi or Greenwald or anything else. Actually, they might even be better because they really stick to the numbers and they stay away from the politics for the most part. And I will tell you, if your name is Cameron Sexton and you're in the Tennessee State House and you're the speaker, Oof, you do not want to piss off Judd Legume. Because he's coming for you, pal.
Yeah.
That dude is coming for you.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That's right. Look what he's done. Look up what that dude's done. We may cover that story in the future as that develops even more. But this dude has been getting paid out stipends to the tune of a couple of $100,000 as long as he's been the speaker. And he's just been bilking the people of Tennessee while living in Nashville and claiming that he lives 150 miles away and claiming a stipend for people who live further away so they could sleep in a hotel downtown. But he goes home every night.
Yeah.
So, and then it turns out there was some guy that was convicted of a sex scandal, and Buck Sexton is stepping in, or not Buck Sexton, I'm sorry, Cameron Sexton. Buck Sexton is a radio host who used to do a show with Crystal Ball. Cameron Sexton intervened and tried to help this guy because they're on the same committee. This guy is going down, I'm telling you right now. Keep your eye out for Cameron Sexton, and part of the reason why he's going to be taken down is because of the research and the work that Judd Legume and Popular Information have done. Now, why are they doing all of this? Partly because that's the asshole that's been going after the state legislature guy, that Justin guy that you covered, and doing the anti-trans stuff. And Judd is a ally to the community, and he is doing it the way that he knows how, which is to take them down using their own words and their own criminal behavior. So shout out, go support Judd, go support Tesnim and Rebecca over at Popular Information, please. And support independent journalism. And now that we've had enough nightmare fuel for the week, let's get to some boats.
And I watch mindless shit, boats that smash into other boats.
Yep. Boats, you say, huh?
I love seeing boats.
Here we go again.
It's time!
How about Jesus Christ. If I could press buttons right,
that would help.
My job would be way easier.
It's time for Indy to look at Twitter. Is that what's going on? What?
No.
Just like it's time for Reef to get food?
Nope. Bad dog. No. All right. Boats.
Wait.
Watch what happens when you try to dock.
VHF 12. Oh. Ruh-roh.
Now, if you had just pulled that, battened your hatch,
I don't think they knew that was open.
You might have been fine. You know? I love how it just... See, this is the thing people don't understand. Just because it's moving slow doesn't mean it can't be massively destructive. This just pulled off a building.
How about the guy standing next to that
he was
thing?
just in this building. Right, yeah. Yes. And it's just like a whole concrete thing just ripped right off the rebar. Just because of this little bit of metal.
Holy shit.
On this, multiple ton vessel.
That's insane.
You know? People just don't get it. Imagine if you were stuck between that and something solid. You would not be fun.
No.
So, speaking of not fun, more boats. Whee!
Uh-oh. That's a big wave! Did we lose anybody?
Whee!
Did we lose anybody?
Hey, that's...
Oh, that's...
Oh, yeah, you did. Your boat's now fucked. The front fell off. I'd stay with the boat. Stay with the boat. What's left of it? Yeah, boat broke. The front fell off.
Roof flies off.
Anyone who ever watched, go look up The Front Fell Off. Not now, but later. So it's a good video. Speaking of boats, look at this boat.
Oh
yeah.
It's the Democratic Party,
Look
folks.
at this guy literally diving by with his boat on fire. I can't explain.
Bro, pull over, dog.
Hey, look, it's the Marianne Williamson campaign.
Right? So here we go. This is the science fair. We getting the blue ribbon. We get the blue ribbon, and if you just take your lighter, you get that. This is why the blue ribbon happened.
Yeah. Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. What else do I have? Pro disc golfer disqualified after testing negative for cannabis.
Well,
come on, bro.
Funny.
What do we call it? What do we call that?
Super duper vape.
Like what? It looks
how many
photoshopped.
milligrams is that?
But I think
that's gotta be like
I don't know, but it's
10,000 milligram vape.
Yeah.
Right, that looks like 10. Now that looks like 10,000 milligrams. Oh, come on.
The devil's egg.
The devil's lettuce egg. Oh.
Yep.
And then
the
it's an edible.
Egg.
A deadable.
You're right.
A deadable.
And then it's an edible egg. A debbable.
A debbable.
What else we got? Me after reusing the water from my kid's water bottle for my bong. Captain Planet, he's our hero.
Nice.
Bring pollution to. Is that Don Cheadle?
It is Don Cheadle.
Yep. But me, as soon as I get off from work.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Look at that face.
I just love his face. His face is the best. Like, you love your job when you're making that face.
That's the king.
Giannis. This is our king.
Fucking AI right now that they done made for me. This nigga can talk to me.
So he's talking about AI right now.
Fucking AI right now that they done made for me. This nigga can talk to me. I'm like, me and this nigga can hold a real conversation. Like for real, like
for real.
It's blowing my mind because I watched movies on this as a kid years ago when I used to see this shit, and I'm like, what is going on? Then I heard the old dude that created AI is talking about this is not safe because the AI's got their own minds and these motherfuckers gonna start doing their own shit. I'm like, is we in a fucking movie right now or what? The fuck, man? So do I need to invest in the AI so I can have one with me or like, do y'all know? Shit, what the fuck?
Yep. Yep.
You don't know shit. What the fuck?
Well, eloquent, Snoop. Eloquent.
What is the Milk Institute?
No, that's Michael. That's Michael Milken. Milken.
Okay.
And that's the dude who went to prison on the insider trading scandal. And isn't he the DeLorean dude?
Maybe.
No, that's John DeLorean. But he had a DeLorean, I think. Oh, goodness.
Americans caught trying to smuggle suitcases full of fruit roll-ups into Israel.
Well.
Why?
Because they don't allow high fructose corn syrup there, and Monsanto is illegal.
That's funny.
Seriously.
Look, we made it to Dad Zone.
Nice. Oh.
And action.
Hey, Tony, what's going on? Tony, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Tony, what the fuck is this, Tony? Tony, I did what I thought was best for the family, motherfucker. You gotta believe me, Tony. Please don't shoot the fucking gun, Tony. Oh, my.
Please don't shoot the fucking gun, Tony.
Oh, my God.
Interesting problems require interesting solutions.
Sure.
You know?
Well, that'll work.
Just yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
She's all right.
Baby's having it. My kid randomly told me I'm gonna go do namaste in the backyard. Be back soon. This is apparently namaste. That's what namaste is.
Well,
just chilling out with a helmet on.
That's pretty good.
You know? Right?
That's pretty good.
Isn't it? Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty
oh my
good.
God, dude. This fucking video. In fact, just in case, refresh. There we go. Full screen.
Dad?
Wait, what?
And my niece has her bird trained to attack anyone she screams at.
Dad?
Oh my God.
Like,
okay.
How terrifying. This feels like a super villain ability. Like she just literally screamed, and the bird is like, okay, cool, I got it. That's the attack noise. I hate this house. One of the kids ate my wing and tried to replace that shit. Look what they gave him.
Oh, we need the Joe Rogan. Oh. Where he's grabbing the guys next to him. Yep.
Like,
that's messed up right there.
Like, isn't it though? You were talking about like they eat my food. I'm like, you know. Here we go. Here's a kid. What could go wrong?
Hi, man.
Oh my God. Oh.
Open the window, he says.
Well,
you know,
don't shut the window. Because you may take his lips
don't
off.
shut the window. Right? You'll appreciate this. And action.
What do you say?
I can't have no privacy.
What do you say?
Can I have some privacy?
Privacy?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Mommy, here's privacy. Here's some privacy. Here's some privacy. Here's some more privacy.
Oh, thank you.
Here's some more privacy.
Thank you.
Now they are clearly in a bathroom. You know.
Is she
like,
picking
can I have
up
some privacy?
turds from the floor?
No, just privacy.
Oh, okay. Just giving privacy.
Okay. Just can you read that title for me?
That says, wait, what? And those are frogs.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
This is a frog. Everyone has to turn their sound up for this one. That's it. That's the video.
Come on.
I couldn't not bring a video titled "Wait What." I'm like,
wait, what?
Wait, what?
Gamer likes frogs.
Yep.
Mastermind hour, get the privacy from the garage. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Shit tickets and privacy. That's right. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Giving the dog a bath. Yes.
Why? Why would you put her in there? Huh? Corey, why would you put her in there?
She's liking it. I need an answer.
Take her out.
Hi, baby.
No, ain't no hey Gigi. Take her out of there.
No comprende in English.
Oh my God. Parents are so patient. They really are.
Aren't they? Here you go. You ready?
Oh, you want to come in? Come on, inside. Want to come in?
Oh, shit. What the hell was that?
Lightning.
Damn, that was close. It scared him right into the friggin' house.
So they found a rat and they went out and got a cat. This sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Maybe.
You know?
The rat's gonna beat the cat up, right? What are they laughing at?
Just that the cat showed up and he's like, all right. And now we wait.
I need a translator.
And now we wait.
Is he already destroying that thing?
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's got it. Oh, shit.
Okay, bye-bye. I take my present now.
Wow. Well, cats are really good for this, as the Jamom.
Yep.
The Jamon.
Let's go. This is close.
Jumping them. They're having a conversation, I see. Oh, they're gonna go.
Hold on. There's
Is there
noise.
sound? UFC.
Yep.
296. Cat versus dog.
And hit him with the spin move. Press an X on that Xbox controller. Hit him with the spin.
No, reverse.
Now what? You can't handle my spins.
I'm not taking your shit.
I love the spin.
I love the smack in the face. Like, he don't care. Dude, that cat is fearless. He got a death wish. Dude, don't you know that dogs can fuck up cats?
Can you, alright, can you tell? Look at this floor, dude.
They look
like,
happy.
look at the floor.
They looked happy to be fucking with each other,
Like,
though. Like they're brothers and sisters.
I feel like this floor is all scratched
That's
up
right.
by this
Bad
dog's
cookies.
like nails.
Spin of friendship. That's absolutely right. That's right. The dog got happy.
Does that dog play League of Legends? No, Dota, spin to win.
There you go. Marble.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's a Hitler cat eating corn.
Corn.
It's a cat that looks like Hitler eating corn. He has a Hitler mustache.
His just little face is just he's got a bigger mustache than Hitler.
Oh.
Like
look at him.
Why does he love this corn so much?
Because it's delicious. He must be from Jersey.
Yeah. Damn, I should have brought that story about people dumping pasta in New Jersey. You know?
My wife even got that sent to her
that.
today. Old Bridge, New Jersey. Look it up.
Yep.
Yepex shared that with me, by the way. Shout out to Yepex.
Find this little guy in the park, and at first I thought he'd gotten attacked by a dog or something.
He's alive.
He tries
He's
to
fine.
stand up and he flops all over the place. And
Aw.
then I saw he had something in his mouth and realized the bugger's been munching on mushrooms. I'm not sure if those are poisonous or not, but they definitely got him in a tizzy.
He's all fucked up.
So
I think they
I'm
are.
gonna take him back, or try and take him back. Come here, girls. Come here. May, come. Get away from him. See if the doctor can do anything for him. Nope, May. Nope.
Nope,
Nope.
I'm out.
May. I said no. Yeah,
Dude.
he's...
I would not mess with a squirrel on mushrooms.
He is stoned.
Well, not just that,
I
but he
wouldn't
could be
either.
rabid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
All right. What is that? What is that?
Is that a
What is
upside
that?
down? No.
I think it's dead. Let me check. Oh shit! Nope, it's alive. Run! Save yourself. Now I think it's dead. I'm like,
That's my kid's
I just
hairbrush.
love the panic.
That's my kid's
Cat
hairbrush.
panic is the worst. Oh, the poppers.
Poppers.
Dog park closed for maintenance.
I forgot.
Come on.
I made a mistake and I wasted his time today. So, I'm very sorry.
That is not a real sound coming out of a dog.
That's real.
Oh my god.
It's the best.
That's just
Yep. On to the next one.
Get your tongue off my door.
Get
it off my door.
What is
Next? Get your tongue.
Why? There must be something tasty on there.
Get your tongue
Oh my
off my
god.
door. Get it off my door. Next.
Cute puppers.
Get your
Close. What's this? Close.
Okay. That's a
Here we go.
bearskin
Full
rug.
screen.
Nice rug.
Action.
Puppers.
Hey, you're on fire.
The fuck, man?
Hey, you're on fire.
No, he's stuck.
The laugh is great.
I know, right?
Mastermind's got it. Fat dog in a little suit.
Little stool.
Nice.
Can someone translate this for me? That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. That's digital. That's digital.
Wow, wow, wow.
Mm-hmm. They abuse me nightly.
That's not a dog. That's a barrel with legs.
Oh, somebody's catching up on the Rumble, and they said they pay their kids under the table because if the parents get a job, they'll lose their SNAP money or meth heads.
Ooh,
ouch!
That's a thought.
Oh,
Anyway.
Jesus. Okay. Damn.
Here's just something nice.
Oh, you want more? Oh, boy, look at you. Wow. Oh, upside down.
Dude.
Mike.
Okay. Sure.
You know, you just gotta be nice occasionally. You know?
MK telephone, man. It's funny.
What it feels like to attend a Formula One race. This is like my cat asking for kibbles, you know?
Yeah, we've heard it. Commander LaForge.
What? Yep. Oh,
that
what
goes
else I got?
on for a while too, huh?
What, boats? Well,
No, the cat.
Oh yeah, that video, the Formula
I
the
saw
Formula
it was
One
like
race.
2
Yeah.
minutes long. It was like, damn.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off the neighbor's roof.
Wait, what?
Get down, Billy Herb.
Wait for the name. Yeah.
Billy Herb?
Man. He always
Billy
doing
Earl.
dumb shit. Billy Earl.
Billy Earl.
Get off the fucking roof.
Sounds like Sam Jackson.
I'm gonna get closer so y'all can finally see how the fuck he be doing
Get
this
these
shit.
motherfucking snakes off that motherfucking roof.
Billy Earl.
Oh, I want to make him Yertle. Come on. Come on, Myrtle back.
What
Get
the
that
fuck is
motherfucking
on
goat
roof
off that
to where he
motherfucking
keep
roof.
going up there.
Motherfucking roof.
Get down, Billy Earl. Bitch. Billy Earl. Get the fuck off the neighbor's roof.
How'd he get
You
on the
dumb as
neighbor's
hell.
roof?
And look at Pepper. Pepper, get your ass home. Man, I'm trying to go pick up my food.
Billy
You doing
Earl and
dumb
Pepper.
shit. Get down off the damn roof. I'm gonna beat your ass when I get you, Billy Earl. I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass. Get down.
Animal abuse.
Go home. I'm finna
I don't think that's gonna work.
Billy Earl, if you fall, bitch, we ain't going to the vet. We ain't going to the vet. Billy Earl.
Are we gonna watch him slide down?
This bitch gonna have me in some shit.
He's eating the branch.
Get the
on
fuck
the
off
tree.
that damn roof.
He threw a stick at him.
Go on, get down, boy. This how the fuck he be getting up there. Look at it. Billy Earl, get the fuck down. Come on, get off of there. Get your ass off of there. Then he gonna leap right over that shit. Go, Billy Earl. Get off that motherfucking roof.
Nope. Nope. Come on, I want to make him. I gotta
Pepper,
see him
take your
tail.
ass home, bitch.
Oh, Pepper's the chicken.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Go, get off the roof, Billy Earl.
Come on,
Tired
Billy
of this
Earl.
motherfucker.
Make that jump.
With his goofy ass, if you would have fell, I'd have laughed at you. Take your ass home. Go on, Pepper, go home. Go home.
Where's his home?
Come on.
Your home. Are you too good for your home?
You a goofy bastard.
Answer me.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your goats are?
Your goats and chickens, that is. Holy shit. That was painful. Billy Earl is such a
This might
fitting
be.
name.
Yeah, it is. Billy Earl. Oh
He just
God!
doesn't give a fuck.
Watch the little hamster. I love the big hamster, and then like, all right, this is how you do it. Watch, you get on here, and then you fucking go like this. Fucking beep, boop, bop, boop.
I'm upside down.
Like,
Oh wait, he picked him up. He was going to do it again too. Come on, let's go. I'm going to do it again. Let's go.
I
Let's
want
go.
to zoom
Let's
in.
go.
Hold on. Hey, whip wop, whoop, whip wop. Like he folds over like pancakes. Like,
Oh my god! And that's the one with brain damage. That's right, bad cookies. Uh huh.
Yeah. Yep, that is the one with brain damage. Oh my god, this one's pretty good.
Eileen
And
Stasi once yelled at me for
Just
making
down.
rage. What?
Down. Helen, tell her.
Get off the fucking table!
Helen Keller.
Helen Teller.
Beyonce, down.
Beyonce.
Down.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Helen, tell her.
Get off the fucking table!
Oh, Helen. I got you.
Yep.
The dog's name is Beyonce. It's a pug.
Beyonce. What is this though? Explain to me what this is.
Oh goodness.
What is that?
It's NAFO.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Oh, dude,
Explain.
it's a Fallujah NAFO doggy.
What is that? What is that?
It was born in Fallujah.
Oh my god.
Depleted uranium.
Like what? You can't like who Oh God!
It's missing its body.
Is that a dog?
It's just legs.
Like,
it looks like they sawed the body off in between and spliced it back together. It's an edited dog.
All right, we got to turn our sounds up for this one. And action.
Come on. Again. Somebody got a lot of time on their hands.
I feel like Jesse needs to grab these for a sample.
Feels like they're playing R2-D2 sounds on their keyboard and timing it. This is what dinosaurs sounded like.
Is that a key alarm?
What kind of bird is this?
Looks like a mockingbird of some kind.
That would make sense since he's mocking what he hears.
Yep. I can't even do that.
Oh, then you would have failed Spanish class.
How does he do that with no tongue? Kookaburra, says Mastermind. I feel like kookaburras have a bigger beak, don't they?
As Reef says, always listen to what little birds have to say.
Yeah, exactly. What does this bird have to say?
Bro, that's some jacked up pigeon. Don't fuck with him.
Like, what is that?
That's
What
Arnold
is that?
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger pigeon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger pigeon.
Dude.
Like, what is that?
That is the most swole pigeon I've ever seen in my life.
Like, motherfucker, you go to take the subway, huh?
It's Joey Diaz. It's the Joey Diaz pigeon.
It's Joey Diaz. Someone please tell me what that is. I would love to know.
Beverly Jansen,
because it's definitely a pigeon of some kind.
You made boats. Good to see you.
Here we go. This one is just called Dog Living Its Best Life. And action. Oh, tip-a-tap, tip-a-tap, tip-a-tap.
Dirty water, dirty water.
There's no haps.
I'm gonna get filthy. I'm gonna get filthy. Come clean
I love
me.
those tippy taps at the beginning. These tippy taps are the best.
Oh, this is great. Oh, this is fun. Oh, this is good.
I love it so much. So, speaking of Coronation, this is the real Coronation. Everyone missed it. Like, I love that one. That one's so good. Such a good boy.
Yeah, I don't
why?
think that's gonna fit.
Also, why is his fucking finger that big? Like,
that's nasty.
What is going on, dude?
And you would think his fingernails would be in better shape considering he's a fucking king.
Yeah, I mean, you could work on those with like a regular file. You know, it's like easy access.
How about buff him out, get a manicurist? Come on, man.
This looks like a wristwatch on his pinky. You know,
and it looks like it's struggling. It's
like a Rolex right on his fucking pinky.
What it looks like is that it's cutting off the circulation to the rest of the pinky. Look at the indentation.
Yeah, dude. You gotta get a new band on that rollie, dog.
Dude doesn't wear a paint. Dude doesn't wear a wedding ring because it doesn't fit.
Crazy. Well, yeah. You could have gotten Coronation flakes.
Oh. No.
I don't think that's a nutritious breakfast.
Creamy patina.
You know?
Oh goodness.
Ugh.
Nasty.
Was that 30 pounds?
I got a golden ticket.
Jesus Christ, 30 pounds?
Yeah. New. Well, it's new.
Oh, dude, what the fuck? Well,
It's a collector's
yeah.
item. It's a collector's
I hope
item.
it's not old. Oh my god, it's the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Like, what?
We should be so lucky.
Two. Right? The Holy Hand Grenade.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Someone remembers that. Someone remembers.
Yes.
Okay. When the world hates you.
I just want y'all to fucking know. There are 7 floors in this parking garage. Look at all of these fucking spaces, okay? Why did this fucking single fucking lot have a fucking pipe leak? Why?
Oh my
Why?
god. Oh my god, a pipe burst and covered her car in ice. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. That
That's so fucked
sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I hope the car's okay. AI generated image of Donald Trump and Joe Biden being best friends.
Except you don't need AI.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Oh, they're playing ball, dog.
They're bowling.
They're playing. Are they bowling? Why?
Yes, they're at a bowling
Why are
alley.
they? Dude, that's not how you use it. That's not how you use a bowling ball, though.
Well, it's also not the size of a bowling ball, but
yeah, it's like a tiny basketball. Look, they built snowman. You know, like
wow.
Oh, monkey. We're here with the monkey.
No bonans. They're laughing at
They're
the
laughing
Mona
at the
Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Who's giving him the hand?
Right? Oh my god, they're at a French cafe. How romantic. You know, oh, spaghetti.
It's Lady in the Tramp.
And they got that pasta from fucking New Jersey.
It's blue Trump and red Trump.
Who are you gonna call?
Nice. Goat's butter.
Goat's butter. What else we got? So this is a new game called Is He High or Is He High?
I've seen this. He's in multiple ways high.
And if I could just, if there was only like a ladder on this.
Those are some nice plants,
you
over
know.
there.
And if I could just,
face plant.
And then fucking Timmy's like, "Oh my god, are you okay, bro?"
Dude, he's
out. Oh
out
god,
cold.
you weren't wearing your safety beanie.
He's going. Is that an elf hat?
Bro, you're supposed to wear your safety beanie, bro.
What?
You didn't know? Oh god.
What? Oh
shit, we gotta get a safety beanie.
911.
Quick, emergency joint.
Bro, that dude just face planted into a concrete floor. He needs 911.
Yeah, he definitely has a concussion.
Oh.
At least. And action. Beep beep, coming through.
Definitely not America. It's driving by the Highland.
He goes in the fucking store. Like, that's great.
My guess, India. India.
Sure.
It's not for
India
beginners.
is not
See
for
that?
beginners.
That was my guess. Good, educated guess.
So, you're a car guy,
No.
right?
Nah. What?
You ever go karting?
Of course.
You ever go karting?
I love go-karts.
Okay, do you know how to overtake? This is a tutorial for overtaking.
Uh-huh.
the outside, inside.
Over. It's Mario Kart.
Just go over them.
That's Mario Kart.
Yeah, wee. Like, how did that happen?
The British are coming. Nice, good job. Wow, that was pretty cool. And stayed up. Cool. And he's okay.
Sometimes I find cool ones. This was just called Speak Now or Never. We're at a wedding. And action.
No! Oh my God! I'm in love with God.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Like,
wait, is he in love with Dawn or
he's got
Don?
Fucking.
Oh! Oh my God! I'm in love with God.
Dawn.
I don't know if that's the man or the woman. Is that Don or Dawn?
I don't either. I think by the way people laughed, it was the dude, but
it might be Don.
Could be wrong. To jump into the harbor.
Oh no.
That is the question.
Is this the one that's iced over? No, that's not iced. Okay. What are we gonna do?
Say cheese, motherfucker.
Uh-oh. Tripping on the chain? Oh yeah!
Oh shit, son!
Oh god.
Shit. Made you up, bro?
You alright, bruv? Bruv, you alright?
I saw that coming a mile away. Oh, that's pain. Oh, this is pain. Oh,
shit, son.
That oh shit, son.
Oh, this is pain. This is pain.
Yeah.
Curb stomped himself. That's right, Mastermind. Oh. Is that Mad Crab? No, that's not
house.
Mad Crab. That's not great.
One
that's
bathroom, tiny house. Under 100K.
Maybe.
Yeah, you get it.
Negotiable.
You know, negotiable. It's just the fact that, I mean, like, what? New York's got crazy rent price, bro. They're gonna try to do one of those TikTok challenges.
No, just do it. From here. No, I can do it. Okay. 1, 2, 1.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Concrete floor too. Oh, somebody's gonna need traction.
I mean, it's her head hit the fucking. Oh, fuck.
No, her feet.
Her head hit his head.
Man, you were almost there. Oh,
nah, he's got pee-pee pains. That's pee-pee pain. Look, his hands all over, like he got hit in the pee-pee.
Oh, that's what you get, as Bad Cookie said. That's what you get
when one sport isn't enough. Dude, this should be a sport.
What?
Like,
wait, what does the other side look like?
Oh,
dude, that's like Air Jordan Jumpman shit right there.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah, it's like half court.
I'm guessing that they crashed right afterwards. That doesn't look like they landed well.
Nah, they landed. There's like a sport that's like jumping on ice. It's like ice racing. Damn. Crazy. There's like 4 dudes lined up and they got to all do these jumps, like with skates.
Wow.
So I thought people would enjoy this one. You know?
Kelly Clarkson.
That's exactly. Okay, we're good now.
Ow. Oh my god. If this means I don't have to shave for 3 months, no, sorry, I'll shave for 3 months.
Dude.
That it's gonna fuck up your complexion later, dude.
Dude. Like the sounds it made. Like what? Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
Yep.
So this is our new podcasting setup. Right? We get like a tape recorder, right?
It's
we
Jesse.
plug it into the converter.
Jesse does this.
And then it goes into the cigar lighter. And then, we got the little CB thing there. We're good to go.
The microphone.
You know? Is that Reagan?
It might be.
It's possible.
Plywood base.
I know, right? Plywood base. Jumping a ramp on a mobility scooter.
Supercar Nigel, testing out his skills on the scooter. Oh.
Oh.
Supercar Nigel.
Well, I am just evil.
Supercar Nigel.
Sorry. That should not be funny, but it's really funny.
Oh, but it is really funny. It's funny because he did it to himself. That's what's funny. Like he didn't know that was gonna happen.
Oh, bad cookies nailing it on the fucking comments tonight. That podcasting set up perfect for a Model T. And there goes the Special X games. Nice. There you go, dude.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass.
This is the shopping cart race.
Oh, fuck. Let's see if I refresh and get the last of it.
This is totally a Jackass episode right here.
Oh, fuck.
You know what he was trying to do? I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is a shopping cart flip.
Yeah, the shopping cart flip. This one's pretty good.
Action. About the film Idiocracy today, which if you've never seen it, shame on you. It's almost 20 years old now, and it's a hilarious movie about a dystopian future where American society has evolved to the point where everybody is just a complete idiot. Apparently, the costume designer in this film didn't have a big budget, and she needed shoes for the characters to wear, and she wanted shoes that looked futuristic but also really stupid. She found this small startup company that was making shoes, and they weren't like out in the world yet. She was like, these shoes are perfect because they look ridiculous. And Mike Judge, the producer of the movie, was like, well, what if by the time the movie comes out, you know, this company is big and these shoes are popular and people are actually wearing them? The costume designer was like, are you kidding? These are ridiculous. Nobody's ever actually going to wear these shoes. Look at them. Guys, those shoes that appeared in the movie were Crocs.
Yep.
These normal Crocs. We're all wearing idiot shoes. I'm part of the problem. I have 2 pairs.
On my wish list, and 3 more on my wish list. I own no Crocs, by the way. 0 Crocs in this house. We have no Crocs. My kids actually do like to wear the Crocs. Believe it or not, because they live in idiocracy.
On top is the way it's supposed to happen, and on the bottom is how it actually happened.
Nice. That's a how it started, how it ended.
How it ended. Yep. What else do we got?
Dude, that was a pretty good skit.
Oh, this one. Just
Uh-oh.
Thumbs up. It was nice.
Are you trying to eliminate your thumbprints?
Why Women Live Longer is where that's from.
Well, I understand and I agree. What?
Yep. This is fucking hilarious.
Rating breakfast around the world. Netherlands. So I have reviewed Hagelslag before and gave it a 2.5 out of 10, but I seem to have upset the entire country of the Netherlands. So I'll just do it again according to what the comments said.
Wait.
Firstly, I got the milk chocolate version now, so I hope you're happy. I also opened it correctly. I took a piece of white bread from a Dutch grocery store and I didn't toast it. I don't know why you think that's better, but I didn't. I buttered it thoroughly from edge to edge. And I applied more sprinkles, way more sprinkles,
oh my
because
God,
you are
that's
really
disgusting.
upset about that.
Is this enough? Fuck.
Do you know about fairy bread?
No, but it's just little fucking sprinkles.
Fairy bread is like the same thing, but with like rainbow sprinkles. It's like it's Australian.
My kids would love that
sprinkles.
shit.
Is this an?
And now that I tried the proper
It's like a
version,
party thing
I would
and
like to
fucking-
admit that I was wrong. My rating was a bit too high. I'm gonna update it to 1.5 out of 10. Absolutely ridiculous.
Disgusting,
Comment
yeah.
your country so I can try a better breakfast than this, please. I'll see you in the next one.
It looks like he's eating ants on a piece of white bread.
Pizza. Yep.
Ants? What?
Ants?
Chocolate sprinkles? And I love chocolate sprinkles. Nobody loves chocolate sprinkles more than me, but on butter and white bread?
Still better than Vegemite. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, sure.
Damn. Just get Nutella
You know,
and graham crackers?
What's the stuff they do in? What's that other stuff they do in Britain that's not Vegemite but similar?
Spotted dick?
It's like, no, it's like someone will tell me. It's like a yeast thing, I think.
Ooh. Look out. It's like bowling.
No way.
Strike.
What? Yep. Yep. It's just like you knew that was going to happen.
Promite
Marmite.
or Marmite?
That's it.
Marmite. Marmot?
Yeah. I think so. So we're at Bangs. We made it to the end. You know how we end things here.
Okay. Cutting a microwave boiled egg. What could go wrong?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Now I've got a burn on my face.
Owie. Yeah, owie. That did that fucking
sucks.
thing exploded.
That sucks.
Here we go.
Oh boy. What the fuck am I seeing here?
That's it.
What?
That's it.
What? What?
This is one of those popcorn things.
Okay. Sure.
Like he just made a ton of popcorn.
Uh-huh.
All at once.
Sure.
And
Oh,
last
boy.
one I figured because it's is boats.
Is boats.
So might as well have boats and
blowing
bangs.
up.
Whee!
Oh my god. And he's okay, folks. Wow.
Whee!
Boom. Woo! Ejector seat.
Right?
Wow.
But yeah. I mean, it literally is.
Yes. That's
Whee! Like
I can watch that over and over.
I know, dude. Me too. But that's it. That's boats.
Yay!
We did it.
We got through boats. All right. Glad that was a rental. Nice, Bad Cookies. Good job. All right. We gotta see full screen reef.
Oh yeah. I guess we do, don't we?
Yeah, that would be good. All right. So and let's go back to the slideshow. Hey now, don't forget. Why is this not going on to slideshow? Oh, because I didn't turn on slideshow.
I don't know.
There we go. Don't
That
forget.
would work, wouldn't it?
Hey, all right. Our Substack. We have published a lot of stuff over at Substack. I'm sorry if I am overloading and flooding you with data and with posts and with emails. I'm sorry. I just have it poured out of me, man. Between the daily updates, the clips from How Do We Miss That? Because we send that out about 5:30 in the afternoon every day. And then I've written a couple articles. I published one about the growth on Substack since Notes has started. And holy shit, it's been great. We've had our first few thousand.
Start out, man.
Yep, it is. But our first few thousand visitor days on Substack. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. IndieMedia.today Substack. We are still live on Telegram right now at t.me/ yeah, do that too. t.me/IND Left News. We're going to have Greg and Crab Show. Alternative Angle will be tomorrow night on this channel because INN is still in the penalty box. Wednesday night, we will be doing INN News here on this channel. So check it out and subscribe to this channel for all the INN stuff. I don't know if we're going to do Jesse's show Tuesday night here. There is the possibility that that could happen. Check out Rumble all day, every day. We're streaming Rumble for hours on end, both here and on INN's channel.
You are fake news.
Well, they are fake news, but we're putting Rumble videos. We're putting our clips on a loop and living them over at Rumble, and the view counts have been terrific. So I don't know if Rumble is pushing live. I have seen our thumbnail on the homepage of Rumble under the podcast when we're live. So it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Hi, Rumble, if you're there. Rumble, what's up? Of course, it won't be because we're at the end of the show and I don't put this on clips. But if you're live on Rumble, hi, Rumble. You're not fake news, but you are fake news. And I love your fake views because it makes me feel good. But I wish we were getting some chats. I wish we were getting some super donations. We did just hit our 600th subscriber over on the Rumble. So rumble.com/c/independent left news, all one word. And we're, again, content strike, but go sub to INN. We have not been able to put up any new content, but there is a ton of content there. Oh, one other thing. I did go on rockfin.com/INN. I put up a video today, or yesterday, of Joe doing the safe and effective. It wasn't really Joe, but he made a video, safe and effective. It's about 2.5 minutes. That's the video that got us our first content strike like 90 days ago on YouTube. And I realized that it was never up anywhere because Reef was looking for it and he didn't see it. So he's like, can we get that up to Rockfin? So it's up there now. It's exclusively on Rockfin. We did a Substack piece about it with a link to it in there as well. So you can go to indienewsnetwork.substack.com and you can see it there as well. INN.
Oh, bitches.
Yeah, baby. All right. I think we're good. I think I'm here to say that this is
success.
That this is Indy saying to always, as I said, thank you, love you all. Question everyone's motivations, and we'll see you next week for episode 80 on Mother's Day.
Keep listening to what little birds had to tell you. Good night, fam.
Night, fam.
Bye. Have a great time.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what